Invasive species threats, impacts, and management strategies. My purpose is to inform you in this speech. Did you know that just over a few decades ago, lionfish were actually rare in the Atlantic Ocean? But now they are one of the most invasive predators that ever stepped foot in that ocean, devastating native ocean ecosystems because they have no one to eat them. As a student in college who was researching 3 sources from the library database, peer reviewed by scientists, environmental scientists, I am curious about how environmental scientists and how these organisms disrupt ecosystems and what we can do to manage them. Many of us enjoy marine life and the biodiversity of our ecosystems, like outside. But learning about invasive species can help further our knowledge and help understand how human actions and natural processes threaten biodiversity and what role we can play to conserve the ecosystem. Today in this speech, I'll explore the threat of its invasive species and how scientists assess their impacts using frameworks like ECAT and EN, or ecological niche, invasive species invasions. We'll focus on lionfish, the common carp, and bugs, like pests. First of all, let's examine how the lionfish took over the Atlantic Ocean. You see all this right here? This is how lionfish is spread. I watched an hour-long PBS documentary called Ocean Invaders 2022. It highlights lionfish spread through the Atlantic Ocean and that they outcompete native species fish, like coral reef, in the coral reef, leading to ecosystem imbalance. I have a research citation called Lionfish have gone up at least to the top predator in more than mere decades, with over 100 lionfish in one reef. PBS 2022. Now, PBS is credible because it's a reputable educational source, and the document features ocean explorer Danny Washington, experienced scientist communicator. Another quote, scientists estimate that lionfish reduce population of native fish by up to 80%, threatening local coral reef health and fishery. The documentary emphasizes the ecological damage done by lionfish and their predation of vital reef species. Now, the ECAT framework expands impact assessments beyond population effects to include impacts on ecosystems' abiotic factors, offering a holistic view. Quote, ECAT incorporates impacts across 3 ecological dimensions, from including the individual organism to whole entire ecosystems. Quote, Carnero et al. 2026. ECAT allows for impact classification at an invasive species, considering both increases and decreases in ecological variables, which helps in targeting management strategies. The framework evaluates impacts like habitat modification, nutrient cycling, and biotic interactions, providing a comprehensive impact profile. The framework builds on established ECAT system with peer review validation. Now, as you can see here, what I'm showing you is that all these factors taken into account of where the organism is, what's its environment it has to thrive in, and what kind of ecosystem that it has to go through. Finally, predicting where invasive species established in the ecosystem is crucial for proactive management, as demonstrated by the ecological niche modeling studies. Now, as you can see, the carp migrated to the U.S. from East North America. So now, as you can see, that's where the native species is the green dots, and the yellow dots is the carp. And as you can see, over time, the green dots start to disappear. The study by Danville et al. 2009 used ecological niche modeling to forecast the potential spread of fish like carp in North America, helping in early detection and prevention. E&M predicted large portions of eastern North African black carp even before their establishment. This was published in PLOS One, authored by respected ecological specializing in invasion biology. Ecological niche modeling can be applied proactively to identify areas vulnerable to invasion, establishing government policymakers and conservationists to implement preventive measures before population takes a toll on native ecosystems. Quote, ecological niche models provide a rapid screening tool for invasion risk assessment. As you can see here, they use an ecological niche modeling to monitor the apple maggot. You can see it's stopped in Florida and it's spreading all throughout the United States. They use technology like this nowadays. So in conclusion, invasive species like lionfish threaten ecosystem, but tools like ECAT and ecological niche modeling offer promising ways to assess and force these impacts to go away. First, invasive species like lionfish are destroying the Atlantic coast by preying on native species. But if we implement frameworks, we identify what's going on by the ECAT to help evaluate the impacts across other ecosystems. And then third, ecological modeling helps prevent these invasions and prevent ecological damage. So now that you know there's a way to prevent these invasive species, I am calling you as a member, as a global community. Understanding and acting on invasive species is crucial in preserving biodiversity and protecting our environment for future generations.